Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I speak with Krishi Phagwani, who is the co-founder and CEO of Hashtag Loyalty, which is India's most widely used customer engagement platform for hospitality and retail businesses. Krishi has been listed among GQ's 25 most influential young Indians in the year 2020. Today, Hashtag Loyalty has enabled over 3 million transactions across 2 million customers with 1500 plus businesses, including brands like the Belgium Waffle Company, Smash, Apsara Ice Creams, Massive Restaurant, and a whole lot more. Krishi also talks about how the idea of creating hashtag loyalty came across his mind, how they acquire, support, and help new customers grow their businesses. We also talk about Thrive Now, which is also a startup under hashtag loyalty, how to reach out to investors, pitch them your idea to raise funds, and a whole lot more. So, without any further ado, let's dive right into it. So you did your bachelor's in mechanical engineering and currently you are into customer relationship management business. So how did this
Correct.
transformation come about and what was your mindset when you were doing mechanical engineering or after you graduated from your college days?
Sure. So I think when I entered college in 2008, I wanted to be an engineer, right? Like I think most people that kind of born and brought up in India, you've kind of grown with that mindset, basically, right? I was very keen on. I really liked physics. I really liked like cars, and I kind of wanted to do something in that domain at some point in time. As I went through school, uh, I was fortunate enough to go and study abroad at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And over there, I got to explore a lot more than just my curriculum. I got involved in a lot of extracurriculars in consulting. There was this organization where we built off-road vehicles called Baha SAE, and a bunch of other things as well, right? And that kind of gave me a lot more perspective on different things. When I graduated, I picked up a job at Cisco. I was working as a systems engineer, and post that, I moved back to India after about a year. Picked up a job at Ernst and Young. Now, during the time I was in the US around 6 7 years, and during that time, I was a very regular customer of Starbucks coffee. Correct. And one of the things that kind of kept me going back to Starbucks versus anyone else was the loyalty program that they had. Starbucks had a mobile application, and this was in 2008, 2009. They had cards. They had a very robust loyalty program, and for a brand, specifically a restaurant, to have that at that time was a big deal. Uh, it kind of got you hooked because every time you made a purchase, you collected a star, and 10 stars, I got a free coffee, right? And the perks there were really good because as a gold card member, I was kind of one of the privileged ones of sorts, and I would get a lot of freebies here and there, right? And that kind of got me hooked to the brand and stuff like that. Now, when I came back to India, right, I started going to a lot of places that I would frequent very often as a youngster. There was a restaurant right next to my house called Candies. In fact, one of my co-founders, Karan, and I used to go there almost every day after school. There was a point because we were such regulars, right? Everyone knew who we were. The staff knew who we were. They knew what we liked, what we ate. They constantly kept giving us like freebies from time to time because we are such loyal customers of the brand. When I came back from college, the staff was the same, but the entire landscape in those 5 6 years had changed. Between I think 2005 to 2012, 13, 14, India went through very rapid globalization. A lot of businesses, the entire restaurant ecosystem kind of exploded. Where there were 100 stores, now there were 1,000. Where there were 1,000 people going out to eat, now there were 10,000. So everything from consumption to how the business or the industry operated kind of grew really rapidly, right? Now, unfortunately, with this rapid globalization, this rapid expansion, there was a lot of depersonalization in the way businesses functioned. So today, when I went to this restaurant, even though the staff was the same, no one recognized me. To these guys, I was just another face in the crowd, right? And that's essentially how we kind of thought about hashtag loyalty and saw the opportunity in this space to kind of go out and give restaurateurs a platform to basically start keeping a tab of who their customers are, when they're coming in and giving them the ability to kind of build those relationships with their customers once they leave the store. So that's not forgotten. So that's kind of how, and the reasoning why we kind of got started with hashtag loyalty and the opportunity that we saw in this space.
Okay, so what kind of service does hashtag loyalty provide to the restaurant owners and how are they benefited by it?
Sure. So hashtag loyalty is actually undergoing a transformation in branding. We're actually rebranding to Thrive over the next couple of weeks, if not the next few months. Broadly, hashtag loyalty started off as a loyalty platform, right? So it was very simple. We gave the restaurant the ability to build and manage loyalty programs. Now, through our journey, we were fortunate to integrate with most of the leading point of sale companies in India, the billing systems essentially. And this gave us access to a lot of more information about not only who the customers are, but what are people actually purchasing when they go out, right? And that those insights are very, very valuable to us and to the restaurateur. So slowly we started building up the stack from just a loyalty stack to a complete marketing CRM, right? So this covered everything from a referral program where they could kind of leverage their customers to acquire new users. We had a campaigning tool where they could segment and reach out to different sets of users based on their purchase patterns, their taste profiles, based on activity and stuff like that. We had a marketing automation built in, just how a lot of tools like WebEngage and stuff like that do marketing automation for online businesses. Kind of similar platform for offline. And we offered them a platform where they could retarget or remarket to customers, not just on email and SMS, but also through mediums like Instagram and Facebook as well. So broadly, hashtag loyalty helped with everything from acquiring customers with certain features that we had to kind of re-engaging and retaining customers, while keeping in mind that everything about that business was kind of broken down for them and kind of put out to them in a very simple manner for them to actually consume that information. So today, if a brand wants to know what kind of items are selling, not selling, what are my customers liking, what kind of products are my customers liking, collecting feedback on certain products or on the overall experience as well, right? A lot of these insights were kind of put out in very simple to understand formats, so that restaurateurs could kind of leverage this and start running the businesses a lot more efficiently.
You opened a couple of
Correct.
ventures during lockdown, like the Save Local, Thrive Now. So was it during the lockdown period that you came up with this idea of
Correct.
opening
Correct.
Thrive Now, or you were planning for it like from beforehand only?
So I'll just take a question in parts, right? Now, March 2020 is when the kind of lockdown kicked in, right? Around that time, so we are, to give you perspective, as a business, we were very dependent on customers actually going to a restaurant and eating. Why? Because when they went to a restaurant, they would share their mobile number. That's how their customer data would kind of get stored, and that's the more customer data, the more opportunities to remarket and stuff like that, right? So we were very dependent on people going out. What happened with March with the lockdowns is people stopped going out because restaurants shut overnight. Correct. Because of this, we had to basically put a pause in our subscription for all our customers because it's not fair on them. They couldn't really use our product or take the most out of it because people weren't going out and they were shut shop, right? A lot of businesses that were still running on delivery and stuff like that were using our product, but they were using it only to remarket to existing customers, telling them to order online on Zomato or Swiggy, right?
Mhm.
Around this time, restaurant revenue dipped basically 90-95%. Save Local was just an initiative by us. It was basically hacked together in 2 days by the team. The idea behind Save Local was just to kind of put out a platform that could help restaurants generate some cash flow during a time when they had no cash flow at all. So it was just a simple idea. How can we get restaurants to get the loyal customers to go out and make a purchase so that they can generate some capital to pay their staff and cover the basic costs. A lot of restaurants shut down in this entire lockdown period during the last year. And the restaurant industry in general is probably one of the most cutthroat industry out there, right? So this was
Yes.
just a way to kind of help them generate some cash. Now, around this time, we actually spent a lot of time talking to all our customers, right? So between March and April, March, April, May actually, we literally went back to every single customer we had on the platform to kind of understand what they were going through, what their outlook was for the COVID situation, how they plan to kind of deal with what was happening, and how are they functioning right now, right? And overnight, a lot of restaurateurs' revenue basically shifted from maybe 80-85% offline to now, and 15% online, to about 100% online now. Because Zomato and Swiggy were the only ways for a lot of restaurateurs to actually get those orders, right? The challenge
Yes.
that kind of hit here was that there are two big pain points that restaurant has working with the Zomato Swiggy. Number one, these platforms don't share customer data. So if a customer orders, if you order through a restaurant via Zomato, Zomato will not share your information with the restaurant. Correct? So in
Yes.
what that means is you're not a customer of the restaurant, you're a customer of Zomato. Correct? Number two, the commission fees charged by these aggregators are very high. The range goes from anywhere between 18% all the way up to 28%. So it's really, really high. Now, when a restaurant was doing 10% of the sales online, commissions, yes, affected them, but it did not affect them that much. The moment business shifted online completely, that 2 to 3% that they were losing commissions now became 20 to 30% of their overall revenue, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of how we saw this opportunity. We realized that there was a big pain point here in terms of what the restaurants are facing with the aggregators. We realized that a lot of our customers were using our product to basically market to customers to go order online, right? And basically, this is where we kind of saw an opportunity for Thrive. We realized slowly that what we were doing with hashtag loyalty, right, was more of a vitamin as a product, not a painkiller, and that Thrive would kind of solve that painkiller problem that businesses had. So this was basically our way to kind of launch a platform wherein we made it simple for any customer or any restaurateur to basically go online and start selling online in a matter of 10 minutes. You don't need your own website, you don't need your own domain, don't need to pay those high commissions. You can basically go online, sign up, set up a menu, start selling to customers directly within 10 to 15 minutes. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's great. So, uh, is Thrive now a alternative to Zomato or Swiggy, or like, is it a substitute kind of thing, or can both of this come, like Thrive now and this food tech startups go hand in hand?
So, see, to be honest, they both go hand in hand. Now, Zomato and Swiggy are fantastic, have built fantastic businesses, right? The reason why they're so popular is because they've got such a large user base. Now, the biggest advantage for a restaurateur on those platforms is that they get customer acquisition. Correct? Having
Yes.
said that, about 65 to 68% of customers that visit these platforms today already know where they're ordering from. Correct? So for a
Yeah.
restaurateur, if I order from you today and I order from you tomorrow, and I order via Zomato, I'm paying you, Zomato is charging that 15, 20, 30% commission every time, irrespective of whether I'm a new customer or a repeating customer, right? The idea
Yes.
of launching Thrive was that how can we get restaurants to basically get their loyal customers, get the repeat customers to start ordering from Thrive, because the savings there are much higher for them. Correct. So to answer your question briefly, yes, we can work hand in hand. We are not an aggregator per se. We are a kind of anti-aggregator from that perspective because of what the aggregators stand for. But can both run side by side? Yes. The aggregators do help businesses with customer acquisition. A lot of businesses that work with us do market through channels like Instagram, through Facebook, through WhatsApp, and a bunch of other channels to their existing customer base to kind of get them to start ordering.
Now, considering you launched your startup during the lockdown period, and when the restaurants were hit badly because of the lockdown and people are not going out, and the revenues dropped significantly. So, how did you convince them to purchase your product or use your platform or software? And how do you like market your product to new restaurant owners?
Sure. So I think one of the biggest differentiators between us and a restaurateur, right, is that sorry, between us and an aggregator, is that while aggregators have followed a very customer first mindset or a consumer first mindset, our mindset has always been business first. So
Yes.
we've spent a lot of time in this industry to understand restaurateurs, how they function, who they are, and basically understand what their needs are, right? And we've built those kind of relationships with the restaurateurs that we work with, and they trust us today because we've always been for business, for restaurant, correct? So convincing a restaurant to join our platform was not difficult at all, and because for the simple reason that we already had relationships in this space. Number one, and number two, a lot of restaurants that we were approaching were already tired of the aggregators and what was happening there. So they were very keen on trying on two things. So one of the interesting things for us today is around 45% of our customers, that 45% of new customers we onboard come from either referrals through existing customers or existing restaurants, or they come from people that have ordered from another restaurant. So the growth strategy, or the kind of the kind of growth strategies that we followed in Mumbai to begin with was we wanted to we decided initially to focus on only restaurants either with a average order value of say 1500 rupees or more, or restaurants with a high number of stores, because they got in volume, right? And the
Mm.
higher order value got in the higher GMV, or higher
Yeah.
return for us. Now, the good thing that happened with this, right, is we identify the top 15, 20 brands in the city, and we basically got these guys on board. Now, this kind of created like a network effect, because if one restaurateur is ordering from one of these brands, they've gone through the product, they've experienced the product, and now they've come and signed up themselves. So we've kind of created this network effect of sorts in Bombay, and today almost every relevant restaurant in Bombay, it kind of works with us. We're actually replicating a similar model right now in Delhi and in Bangalore and in Pune. And for us at the moment, we've also just, in fact, this week launched the self sign up form as well, wherein any restaurant can basically sign up on our website by filling out a simple form. And once they do that, they basically get redirected to their dashboard where they can go ahead, upload their menu, and start selling online. So it becomes very simple. So the entire focus on growth now is more marketing led, wherein we do a lot of marketing on channels like Instagram, on Facebook, Google Ads. We have a very large network of customers ourselves. So we identify business owners within that customer set that we can remarket to as well. With hashtag loyalty, the current customer base on our platform is around, I think, 7.5 million users pan India, right? So a lot of those users are also restaurateurs across. So we leverage that to market to them as well and to kind of get them on board.